of God. We are one in the Spirit of God. We are one in the Spirit of God. We are one, we are one, we are one, we are one, we are one in the Spirit of God. We are one, we are one. We are one, we are one, we are one, we are one, we are one in the Spirit of God.
My name is Kevin Swanson, and I'm part of your core council. As we individuals create our own expansion, we add to the collective consciousness of this center. And today we have the opportunity to witness the installation of new members as our center continues to expand. I'll be announcing their names. They'll be coming forward and sitting down in the first couple of rows here. I ask you to hold your expression of celebration until the actual installation at the conclusion of the ceremony. Jamie Arterberry and Cliff Jung, Chris and Sharon Barley, Frida Benjamin, Kimberly Boer, Hugh Cox, Cara Fillmore, Bob Flava, Leslie Glovin, Trevin Hartwell, Susan Jameson. We have a live streaming new member today, AJ Kadin, Pat Kane, Peter Kehoe, Lana Kobakash, Lisa Love, Joanna Medlin, Carolyn Parkinson, RJ Rayner, Mary Rossman, Anil Shah, and Kathleen Thomas. Welcome.
It's always so pingy on new member Sundays. We're really happy to be here. Now we're gonna take it inside. Inside. So sacred. So secret. So precious. This love. So sacred, so secret, so precious. This love, so sacred, so sacred, so secret, so precious. This love, so sacred, so sacred, so secret, so precious. This love I will share, I will share, I will share, I will share. This love.
Thank you so much. Good morning, sacred community. I hope this Sunday finds you very happy. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living, where if you hang out with us long enough, we promise that you really will transform your life, reveal love, and build your dreams. Where if you're open to changing your mind, you just might change your entire life. Welcome home. My name is Nicole Fraser, and along with 3 very beautiful and amazing and spiritual women in this community, I am a practitioner awaiting licensing. Yeah! I want to say hello to our live streaming family, and certainly a big hello to our new members. Woo! Good to see you. If you are joining us for the very first time, we are so delighted that you're here. We have a special gift for you, and if you join us at the concierge table after services today, we can answer any questions that you might have. If you don't have time, we understand. And there is a free gift for you in the foyer on your way out. And there are so many ways you can connect with us. You can call us, and you can also visit us on our website at www.cslsj.org. And now is the time when we anchor this service and get it going with so much love. And we really celebrate being in community with each other and greet each other and say good morning. I know, right? Hi.
Everybody's got to come run up and give you a hug.
Exactly.
There you go.
Good morning, everyone. Today is a beautiful day. My name is Ruby Cowlery. I'm delighted to be your professional prayer practitioner for the day. I'd like to invite you to join in a chant, followed by 2 minutes of silence. After that, I'll pray with you, and we have our affirmation. Let's chant.
So sacred, so secret, so precious, this love, so sacred, so sacred, so secret, so precious, this love I will share, 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 I will share this love. So secret, so precious, this love, so sacred, so secret, so precious, this love. This love, this love.
Let's hold this sacred space and pray. In this beautiful Sunday, in this quiet moment, the presence of God is right here, right now. It is expressed in and out, through me, as me, and through everyone in this loving community. I recognize my unity with God. Everything God is, I am. I am this perfect reflection of love, peace, and joy. I open my heart to all who accept. I help all who need help. When I'm in the position to choose between being right and being kind and loving, I choose being kind and loving. I choose to help when I think I'm too busy to help. I also choose being compassionate and understanding when I face with conflict, upset, and fear. I do this because I know everyone, everything, every place that comes my way today is a gift from the universe. Everything. I claim this truth for myself and for everyone in this sacred community. There is no exercise better for the heart than reaching down and lifting people up. Every kindness we put out is a reflection of each one of us. Each one of us is the embodiment of God. And let's shine. Let the ripple effects of our kindness, no matter how small or how big, continue to flow through and make a positive impact in people's life. I am deeply, deeply grateful for this truth. All is well, all shall be well, all manner of things shall be well. Please help me anchoring this truth by saying, and so it is. Let's read the affirmation together. All that I am is one with the one perfect life. All the joy there is, all the happiness, all the beauty are now mine. I'm born of the Spirit. I am in the Spirit. I am the Spirit made manifest.
A few years ago, we had the great pleasure of going to Istanbul, Turkey, and creating songs inspired by the poetry of Rumi, which we affectionately refer to as Rumi tunes. And we're going to share one of these with you today, and it's about oneness, and it's called I Didn't Know.
Through the day I thanked you, and I didn't know. At night I laid with you, and I didn't know. I thought I was myself, and I didn't know. But I was all you, and I didn't know.
You could sing the I Didn't Know part if you'd like.
Through the day I thanked you, and I didn't know. At night I laid with you, and I didn't know. I thought I was myself, and I didn't know. But I was all you, and I didn't know. Between our hearts there's a shutter we can open. What is there to open when no walls remain? Between our hearts there's a shutter we can open. What is there to open when no walls remain? Out beyond ideas of right and wrong, there's an open field I'll meet you there when the soul lies down upon that grass. Words like you and I stop making any sense. We're all one soul struggling on the path. We're all one light from different lands. Just like they do it in Turkey. Not really. Through the day I thanked you and I didn't know. At night I laid with you and I didn't know. I thought I was myself and I didn't know. But I was all you. I was all you. Through the day I thanked you and I didn't know. At night I laid with you and I didn't know. I thought I was myself and I didn't know. But I was all you. Between our hearts there's a shutter we can open. But what is there to open when no walls remain? No walls remain. What is there to open when no walls remain between our hearts? What is there to open when love remains between our hearts? Between our hearts, only love, just like the start. Between our hearts there is love. Between our hearts there is love. Only love. Between our hearts there is love. Through the day I thanked you and I didn't know. Through the day I thanked you and I didn't know. Through the day I thanked you and I didn't know. And I didn't know. And I didn't know. Through the day I thanked you and I didn't know. At night I laid with you and I didn't know. I thought I was myself and I didn't know. But I was all you and I didn't know. Between our hearts there's a shutter we can open. What is there to open when no walls remain? Between our hearts there's a shutter we can open.
Whoa.
Thank you. Good morning. My name is... Good morning. Wow. There you are. Normally, I don't know who's out there because it's like I'm always looking at the back of your heads. So I can see you now. My name is Les Lindop. I'm your 5-minute talk today. And a few weeks ago, I was watching the Grammys, and they did a song that was called For Good. And essentially the words said, because I knew you, I have been changed for good. As I thought about that, I also started thinking about Dorothy and her trip in Oz. And what you may not know is that I have a lot in common with Dorothy. She rides a bike. I ride a bike. I actually just finished my 5th ride to Los Angeles with several other people in this room. And I have to tell you, it's challenging every year differently, but for the good. She has a little dog, I have a little dog. She wears a dress. I wear a dress on Red Dress Day, day 5 of the ride to L.A. It's not pretty, really. You guys saw it. I refuse to shave my chest. She wears ruby slippers, and my slippers are specialized bike shoes. So if you remember at the beginning of The Wizard of Oz, Dorothy's riding her bike. The twister is coming. She runs in the house. She falls. She hits her head, and she goes unconscious. What I say is that Dorothy was wearing her bike helmet when she was riding her bike and ran in the house, that she wouldn't have gone unconscious. So the whole story would be moot. But on her journey, she encounters a scarecrow who's looking for a brain, the Tin Man who wants a heart, and a lion that wants courage. She has to continually battle the Wicked Witch and all the winged monkeys that make her journey home more difficult. But as she ultimately discovers, is that all of these things are within us. We have a brain, or it's our mind, to think, to pray, to set our intentions. We're self-knowing, and we're setting the course for our own life. Ernest Holmes says, realize that your part is merely to accept the fact that the creative law within you knows and performs every right action at that time. So, a heart. We need love, acceptance, forgiveness, and to learn to forgive. And we know this because as we give, the more we receive. And courage, the strength and the resolve to confront those things that hold us back. The fear of rejection, failure, and sometimes even the fear of total succeeding. So I ask you to close your eyes. I'll click my bike shoes together, and we'll say, there's no place like home. And when you open your eyes, welcome home. Thank you.
I like it. Do you guys like that? Yeah, me too. Good morning. Welcome soon-to-be new members. Welcome everybody else, members and friends. I'm very grateful to be here. I am David Bruner. I am the Senior Minister and the Spiritual Director here at the Center. And our topic today is how to help others. It's a topic that's very dear to my heart because it's something upon which I've been focused for many years, finding the right balance between helping and enabling. And I found that there really is a clear distinction that I'd like to explore with you today. One of my early teachers was Dr. Peggy Bassett, and she was a no-nonsense kind of woman, totally no-nonsense. She eventually passed away from what they call Lou Gehrig's disease. So when I met her in the late 80s, she was already at the beginning of her disease, and she would do her Sunday services sitting on a stool in front of her lectern. And the very first day I was in that church, the very first day I remember, I sat really close to the front, and she said, "Good morning, you seroptimists." Wrong sermon. And it was a departure from the Catholic Church in which I was raised, where there was a homily, and the homily was prescribed by the church itself. And what I watched was a woman who just talked to us. And it was profound and powerful, because what she had to say was meaningful to me. It was something that I could use in my life, and something that I could use in the lives of the people that mattered to me and the people that were important to me. And I wanted to bring that same cheer here today, that same tone. I want to just talk with you today. I want to talk with you about what it means to help others, and how it is sometimes that we think we're helping others, but we're actually making matters worse. Can I do that with you? Yes. Cool. Thank you, because I'm going to anyway, so you might as well be... It's always helpful if you're just cooperative. As they say, it's hard to drag someone screaming their way to their magnificence, you know? So our topic is how to help others, and it's really in the book. The book of the year is called A New Design for Living, and if you don't have that book, may I recommend please that you get that book, that you get it today. We have it in the bookshop, and if you don't get it today in the bookshop, then buy it on Amazon.com or Amazon. If you buy it at AmazonSmile.com, by the way, I don't know if you know this, if you buy it at AmazonSmile.com, you get to designate a charity to which you want a percentage of your purchase to go to. We're on that list. So that's where I do some of my shopping now. So if you don't get it at the bookstore, then maybe you can get it at AmazonSmile.com or get it from the library. But get the book, borrow it from somebody. This chapter, How to Help Others, is only one very long paragraph, but it's one paragraph. It's like bathroom reading, but it's a little more powerful than bathroom reading usually for me. I'm going to step away from that because that's not going to get any better. That's just going to get worse. Yeah. How to help others is really focused on, in the book, how to pray for other people and why your prayers for other people work. The reason why your prayers work and my prayers work, well, let me look at it this way. Have any of you ever had the experience of prayer not working? Yes. Yeah. Okay, 2 people are in the room. Have any of you had the experience of prayer not working? Yes. Okay. In addition to all the prayers in my life that have worked, I've had experiences of prayer not working too. And I've discovered that it isn't because God responds to some prayers more than others, or that God responds to some people more than others, but mostly it's some people respond to God more than others. Some people are receptive to the thing itself more than others. That's really the distinction. But the reason why I pray, and the reason why our particular prayer is prescribed in the way that it is, with easy-to-follow steps, is because the purpose of prayer is not to awaken God to your pleading, to get God to agree to your hope, or to get God to see that you're finally forgivable. But the purpose of prayer is for you and I to speak our word. Your word. Your word should matter because your word is creating your world. They say that talk is cheap, but that's not true actually. People cheapen talk. And prayer is a declaration. It's a stand. You're taking a stand for something. And every faith tradition I've ever seen holds this at the core of its tradition, even if it's in a different language. If you read or have heard about the Christian Old Testament or the Jewish Torah, both of which is the same book, it starts with, in the beginning was the Word. But how do we use our word is what matters. How we use it is what matters. And I wonder how we do use it. Do we use our word and keep it? Does our word really matter to us? Let's see. I'm going to go to the gym tomorrow, and I don't. I'm going to start that diet today, and I don't. I'm not going to be so mean with people, and I am. I'm going to complain a little less, and I don't. Now, none of which, by the way, makes us a bad person. It's just we're not people of our word. And so our word doesn't produce fruits. And then we pray wondering why God's not answering our prayer when our prayers are simply our word. But that's in the book. If you want to read that, I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about something else. Because I like that picture, how to help other people. It reminds me of a teaching that I heard back at the Burbank Church with Dr. Marlene Morris. Marlene said, if there's ever anybody in a hole, you should reach down and help them out. But if they start pulling you back in, it's time to let go. But a lot of us don't let go, actually. A lot of us hang on, and then we tumble in with them, and then we try to get someone to help us and to rescue us and save us and enable us. We want someone to fix it or to stop it, or we just sort of stay in there, and we stay in that place, and then none of us is any good to the other because we're all just in a hole together. Someone has to be outside to help. This is particularly challenging, I imagine, for parents. It's got to be the most challenging thing for a parent to see their child struggle and then want to pull them out and find that their child doesn't come out, but for the parent to actually do this. That must be the hardest thing. I can't even imagine it. I was at the I was at a ministerial intensive this week. And ministerial intensive is just that. It's very ministerial and very intense. They made me look subtle. Well, don't agree too much. What it is it's the accumulation of 3 years of study for 37 ministerial students from around the world, and they descended upon Los Angeles at the LAX Marriott, at which they spent a week, and I was there with them. Spent a week with instructors and mentors and oral examinations and licensing panels, and then a 2-day period of waiting. After they had their licensing panel, they had to wait 2 days to find out whether they passed or not. And it was at this panel that ministers spoke, and they shared ideas and best practices, and it was awesome, because I sat in the back, the very back of this auditorium, on the floor, taking notes most of the week. And I noticed the beauty and the brilliance that existed, not the least of which is this. Here's this. The best way to help the poor is to not be one of them. I learned that pain pushes until vision pulls. Have you ever had that experience? Like pain is just pushing, and you're like, it's pushing. And if you're at all like me or anyone I know, we're like that dog. Pain pushes until vision pulls. And you know, what I got out of that is, if I know someone whose life seems to be in the process of being pushed by pain, I can help them, not by saving them, rescuing them, fixing them, enabling them. I can help them by partnering with them to clarify or articulate their vision, their reason for being, because that vision will pull. That vision is alluring, it's magnetic, and it's drawing. And I know about this. I learned from Dr. Ken Gordon, who is the equivalent of our Pope. Except our Pope is Canadian, polite, handsome, tall, married father, articulate. He's the kind of guy, when he speaks, I listen. He talks straight up, straight with you about whatever's really up for him. And every time I've ever been around him, I've had the experience that he notices me. And I learned that's the way I want to be. I want to be in the presence of someone. I want people to be in the presence of me, knowing that they experience being noticed. Dr. Ken told us about a member of his congregation in Kelowna, British Columbia. This congregant member had a car that he had had for many years, and this car was a good car. It had served him well. It had many, many miles and many stories and a lot of history, and one day, after many breakdowns, the car just refused to start. And this man's intuition clearly said, it's time for a new vehicle. Did he pay attention to his intuition? No. He determined instead to have the car towed to a dealership, and when he went to the dealership to ask them if they could fix it, they said, we don't know. We don't really know what's wrong with it, but we can do some diagnostics on it, but the diagnostics will cost you $500 whether we fix anything or not. Do you want to do this? His instinct said no. There's a bunch of new cars on this very lot right out there from which to choose. He said, sure. And they ran the diagnostics, and they came back and said, well, we tweaked a couple things, but it still doesn't work, and here's your bill. And he paid his $500, and he bought a new car. And he went and spoke to his spiritual advisor. He said, I need help because I'm clearly not paying attention to my intuition. I'm clearly in need of some of your wisdom. Teach me how to notice my intuition. So his spiritual advisor said, I am putting together, it's funny you should say this, because I'm putting together this class. This class is 7 days. We're going to do a 7-day retreat where we're going to explore the ins and outs of intuition, how to notice it, how to feel it, touch it, taste it, smell it, how to be clairvoyant, clairaudient, clairsentient, and in 7 days you will clearly hear your intuition. And the 7 days will cost you $1,500. If I create this, would you go? He said, yes. And the teacher said, well then, what you need to do right now is go back to that dealership and you thank them because they did what I just recommended in 1 day for only $500. That's what we learned at the Ministerial Intensive this week. We also noticed that 2 of our very own graduated, passed their oral panels, and now, according to our denomination, are officially ministers of this faith tradition, although they won't officially be members of our congregation until the Court Council signs a letter of call, which is a contract, which we're going to do in August when our other students graduate too, so they're all happening at the same time. August 17, I believe, is the date. But in the meantime, they are officially and heretofore forever ministers of religious science. Please stand when I call your name, Reverend Doris Hoffman and Reverend Megden Dake Morell. Now, for those of you who are worried about Michelle Jordan did not fail her test. She didn't take the test because when she arrived in Los Angeles, it turns out that she was 1 class short from graduating. So, listen to you. So, well, we found out Michelle is she has already cleaned it up and she's working with her mentors, and the class will be completed by the end of August, so she will be licensed and minister probably in the autumn, but certainly before the end of this coming year. So Michelle Jordan, all is well and happy in her life too. Yay, it's all beautiful, isn't it? So how to help other people? How to help other people. Do any of you know about something that used to be called Sesame Street? There was Sesame Street, for those of you who don't, for like Mauricio and Yolanda, Yoli's from Mexico City. Sesame Street was the TV program in which children had an opportunity in a very fun and playful and captivating way, learn to count, learn to add, learn parts of grammar, parts of speech. They would learn how to be nice and kind. They would learn about certain virtues. There are things about Sesame Street that I still love, and one of them was this particular vignette that happened every once in a while. It was a teaching tool, and one of the humans would emerge in front of the camera with this board on which were 4 images. On this board would be one that I can remember at the moment, was a board that had a picture of a saucer, but I mean like a teacup saucer. A saucer. There'd be a saucer, a saucer, a saucer, and a dinner plate. And then one of the characters would sing, "One of these things is not like the other. One of these things doesn't belong. Can you tell me which thing is not like the other by the time I finish this song?" Do you remember that? Yes. When I heard that in my head, I was thinking about helping others. One of these things is not like the other. Helping, rescuing, saving, enabling. Helping is not like the others. Because sometimes there's not an immediate personal satisfaction in helping. Because sometimes helping means allowing someone to struggle. Let me tell you about what happened to me. It was late 2006, early 2007. It was 7.5 years ago. And I was at a particularly challenging part of my life. It was what some call the dark night of the soul. If you are here now and you were around at that time, you may not have noticed. I did my best to hide it, but I didn't hide it so well because some messiness can't be hidden. In the words of one of our former board members, the board was watching me disintegrate financially and emotionally. But what's beautiful and fortunate for me and the people who love me and the people whom I love is that that board of trustees didn't try to fix or rescue or enable me. Instead, they helped me. And the way that they helped me was they had a come to Jesus meeting with me, off-site, in someone's living room. And there were only 3 of the 7 present, and the 3 of the most gutsy people I've ever met told me that they noticed that I was disintegrating and that it was impacting the community. And what they want to do is they're going to hire someone to run the church. And they're going to hire me to speak, but only on Sundays. Now, what occurred for me was many things at the same time. Shame, fear, sadness, righteousness, indignation, despair, grief, flight. Fight was not there, thank goodness. Flight was going on. But what I noticed was I was in the presence of 3 people who had a message to deliver, and they were unstoppable and fearless. Now let me tell you what happened. What's going on in this community right now is a direct result of everything that happened from that moment forward. There were some people who took a stand for this community, and their vision was so clear that it was either follow it or get on with it somewhere else. Now that impacted my own life because it led me to counseling and finding a new mentor and cleaning up my act and really getting in touch with my ministry again and revisiting about what matters to me and who matters to me. And I'm forever grateful for that. But here, I'm bringing it up because they knew how to help me. And the only way to help me was not to enable me, but to be straight up with me. At the ongoing intensive, at the minister's intensive this week, there was a minister who was speaking about helping others. And he's been heavily involved in 12-step recovery, the 12-step recovery world for many, many years. And while he was talking to us ministers, he was saying some of the things you're going to face is you're going to face parents and friends, mostly parents and spouses, of addicts. And you're going to try to save them. You're going to not even intentionally enable them. You're going to try to rescue them. You're going to be in what's called the drama triangle without even knowing you're in the drama triangle. And there may come a time when you will realize that the only way you can truly help that addict, the only way, is to say, I love you, and I don't like doing this, but I'm done with you until you're clean. And then say goodbye, change the locks on the door, and then call your friends to tell you to keep the door locked. Now, over and over and over, I have seen without exception how that has led to transformation. But I can hardly imagine what it takes for the parent to actually do that, unless the parent is being pulled by vision. When we're being pushed by fear, we will do whatever we can to try to keep the lid on things. But when we're pulled by vision, we allow the lid to blow off, and we can stay free from drama. Not that there won't be drama, but you will be free from it. It's as if you've covered yourself in some drama prophylactic. Write a song about that. All right, I'm going to wrap this up. While I was at this intensive, I watched a woman come out of one of the panels. I was actually in the hallway to wait for Reverend Doris, who was at that time, she was at that time just measly old Doris. I waited for... I mean, precious child of God that she is. Y'all know what I mean. I was waiting for Doris to come out so I could just be present for her. And out of one of the other rooms popped someone that we used to know, a former member of this center, who's at another center now serving the other center and the other center's ministry. And I don't even think any of you would know this person, but she came out and she immediately went, and she pulled down her hands, and I could see her eyes were just bloodshot, and her face was cherry tomato red, and she just started crying. She was, it's not good, it's not good, it's not good. Let me tell you about these panels. The way that it works is 3 ordained ministers have a prescribed list of questions that they begin to ask. And then if something comes up, they might pursue it to find out, really to ascertain if this minister candidate is eligible to be set out into the world. You know, like, does the denomination want to say, this person represents us? So when they're done with the panel, the candidate is invited to leave into the hallway for just a few moments while the panel says, are we in one accord? Yes, we agree, or we agree that that person can't go on. Either case, if they say, we totally agree, we're unanimous, they pass, or we're unanimous, they wait. Then they the panelists stick their heads out and say, okay, you can go now. And then on Friday, that person will get the results. If, though, the panel is divided, like, I think they should be paneled, I think they should be passed, I think they shouldn't, then we invite the person back in for more questions. Okay? So when this person came out of the room and they were crying, I knew what was next. They could be called back in, and they may be wrong. So I ushered her off to the end of the hallway and said, this right now, you need to save this till later. You cannot have this right now. You cannot have this. Not now. Because you may be wrong about what happened. And you may be called back into that room, and they may have questions for you. And if they see this, that will help them decide. You guys following? So I'm not asking her to suppress it always and forever. But you know, sometimes, my friends, in our liberal world, we have forgotten what it's like to be appropriate. So sometimes we need to take your grief and share it with someone who has the wherewithal, the arms, the breadth, the depth to help you to deal with it in a way that's effective and not vomit it on everyone. You know, if you have needs, then take your needs to someone who is equipped to help you. So you do have a world in which you can complain or to say what's not working, but save it to share with someone like a therapist or a practitioner or a minister or a friend or a person who loves you so much they will tell you the truth. But right now in the hallway, you must clean this up. Now, I left before it was all resolved, so I don't know how that all came down, but I can tell you this. No matter what happens to that woman, this will be the best thing that ever happened to her. I know. Because my life as it is right now is a result of those kinds of moments. Every end of the world, this is the devastating, most devastating, this is ruining my life. Every one of those has led me to this stage right here, right now. People ask, well, David, how long does it take you to put together your sermons? I said, well, the one I'm working on right now has taken me 48 years, 6 months, 30 days. And it is said that it's always darkest just before the dawn. Now, my old way of being was I would have walked into that panel and let me clean this up. Let me fix this. But that's an enabler, that's a rescuer, that's a fixer. A helper is just present to say, yes, it's messy right now, and I love you, and I can promise you this, things will turn out okay, and it may take a while. But I'll be present for you until it does. That, to me, is how we help others. I have nothing else to say, except I'm really glad it's time to move on. God is good. God is all. We are with it, as it, in it, through it. And today it's representing itself as brand new members, causing the spiritual community to transform. The Center for Spiritual Living San Jose, as we knew it, will alter today. It will never be the same after today. because today we welcome in new members, which completely transforms the consciousness of 1195 Clark Street, which means, oh my God, something wonderful is about to happen, and so it is. So friends, the ushers are going to come forward and help us with the sharing of our gifts and tithes and offerings, which is our standard. It's standard and customary, and it's an opportunity for us to share our generosity, whether we have any money to give or not. It's an opportunity for us to be generous with our love, our attention, our assistance, our patience, and also to be generous with our absence in the presence of people who need to be shown tough love. But please say with me our giving affirmation, if you will. The spiritual universe is endless and inexhaustible. It is my sole source of supply. I give thanks that goodness and prosperity pour themselves down on me all the time.
Tell me what you're gonna do for me.
How will be K-I-M-D.
Tell me what you're gonna do for me. Show your kindness. Tell you what I'm gonna do for you. I will be K-I-M-D too. Tell you what I'm gonna do for you. Show your kindness. Some say that the world is divided into weak and strong. There's good and bad and right and wrong. Don't trust the ones who sit on fences, or either with us or against us.
I'm a child of many worlds, as if I had to choose just one. I'd say my home is the planet circling round the sun. Like a ship and we're on it for a ride.
All on the same side.
We may be different in the ways we think, but if we don't hang together, the ship is gonna sink.
So I believe in kindness. I believe in simple things. I believe in the preciousness of all beings. I believe in tomorrow, despite the troubles we face, because I believe in the human race. How hard we push, how hard we shove.
When our greatest strength is our capacity
To love. I believe in kindness, kindness. I believe in kindness, kindness. Oh, I believe in kindness, 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 kindness. Let me hear you sing it. Kindness, 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 kindness.
Holy cow. Call it sonic nourishment or new music for a new millennium. It's simply extraordinary music for extraordinary times. Experience the wonder. Lisa and Erica, their CD, you can get it outside in the foyer on the table under the TV. Thank you. I'm Ann Marshall, and I'm asking for volunteers for the silent auction. It's a huge event coming in September. It's a live auction, a silent auction, super fun. We're going to transform this whole sanctuary. It's going to be like a club. It's going to be great. So I need volunteers. Anything from pouring wine, helping with food, getting donations, decor if you're good at decorating, putting together the baskets for the silent auction, helping set up, anything. I will take all volunteers. I have a job for you. We're having a brief meeting upstairs in Ernest Holmes' room where I'll go into more details about the event and the time commitment, and if you can help, I would love to see you there. Hurry, hurry, the Global Heart Choir performs this Saturday. If you haven't got your tickets, they're still available. You can get those in Fellowship Hall or online. Also, today is the last day to place an ad for the concert program. So you can do a personal shout out or opportunity to advertise your business. Inquire at the ticket table. This week at the center, Wednesday, free spiritual practice class is the fourth Wednesday open heart circle, an evening of gentle dialogue and forgiveness facilitated by Maureen Ross. That's at 7 p.m. Awaken Thursday. Join us at 7 p.m. for a free hour of silent meditation, followed by a vegan meal shared in silence. Women's Connection, Eat, Play, Love, Barbecue, Friday, 6 p.m. Adult Enrichment. You can still join Reverend Susan on the Yellow Brick Road and explore The Wizard of Us by Jean Houston. Last week to join this Hero's Journey workshop on Thursday from 7 to 9:30. Make it a great day.
May we have 2 more minutes of your time? Excellent. So you're at choice here. We're not holding you hostage, right? Because now is the time that we have an opportunity to install our newest members, the people who are the outward representations of possibility at Clark Street, and those of you who are online as well. So typically, we simply ask those who have come into the room, you've had your names called when you entered the room, will all of you please stand? My question for you right up front is to ask, have you today come here of your own free will, conscious of your decision to commit to yourself and to this spiritual community? If so, please say, I do. I do. Core counsel in the room, would you please identify yourself? Please stand or raise your hand so we can see you. Excellent. Please stand and remain standing. Core counsel, you are the stewards and delegates of this congregation, and as such, do you vote affirmatively to accept these new members into the official membership of this spiritual community? If so, please say, I do. I do. Excellent. Please remain standing. Licensed practitioners or practitioner 1 and 2 students in training, please stand. You are those who are charged with providing spiritual mind treatment, affirmative prayer, and spiritual counseling for these new members. Will you, to the best of your ability, serve them in any spiritual way possible? If so, say, I will. Thank you. Will all of the staff, both full-time, part-time, and every volunteer at the center, please stand? Do you promise to open your minds and hearts and arms to these new members, and will you commit to serve them to the best of your ability with your time and your attention, treating them as if they were the true presence of God? If so, please say, I do. I do. Thank you. So everyone, core counsel, practitioner, staff member, friend, and visitor, and those of you who were lost on your way to St. Mary's, would you please stand right now? Do you agree to lovingly support each of these new members in their decision to love, honor, and accept themselves as divine beings? If so, say, I do. I do. Do you welcome them into your spiritual community, even if you're a visitor here today? If so, say, I do. I do. Do you commit to do your best to show them that they are honored and valued and noticed and that they matter? If so, please say, I do. I do. Thank you. You may all be seated except for the new members.
To the new members, do you promise to make your spiritual practice a priority? If so, say I do. I do. Will you share your time, your talent, and your treasures to ensure the success of our spiritual community? If so, please say I do. I do. Do you dedicate yourself to God in all that you think, in all that you say, in all that you do, seeking always greater expression of your spiritual nature? If so, please say I do. I do. Recognizing that you have each consented to be renewed in the attitude and love for who you really are, and have witnessed the same before the Spirit and each other, by the authority vested in us, the membership of this community, we now pronounce you to be official members of the San Jose Center for Spiritual Living. Congratulations. And just one last way to say welcome. I'd like everyone to please repeat after me by saying to our newest members, welcome home.
Welcome home. And would you all please stand and take the hand of the person on your right and on your left. And as is our custom, won't you please repeat after me, something wonderful is happening as me right now. Something wonderful is happening as me right now. It's this thing called life. Life is in my mind. Life is in my body. Life is in my relationships. Life is in my finances. Life is in our new members. I see it. I think it. I feel it. I accept it. I express it just the way that it is and just the way that it is not. Thank you, life. Russell, will you do me a favor?